Hi Capricorn, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am an interpretive tarot card reader and this will be a general reading for Capricorn entitled Stages of No Contact and What Your Ex is Thinking. So this reading will be directly towards situations where there's been no contact involving an ex-partner, an ex-lover, an ex-spouse, and this is obviously for those that are interested to see where this person is at in the healing process and potentially what they may be thinking right now at this point in time about you, about your relationship, or even about how things ended. So I want you to please remember that this is obviously a general reading, and of course to interpret the cards as you see fit as well. Numbers, colors, symbolisms, I always encourage you to use your own intuition and interpretation methods. But I do hope this reading can be insightful. So if you do enjoy it, please feel free to leave behind a like, a share, or a subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. Otherwise, let's have a look and see. Capricorn. What is this person thinking? What stage are they at? I feel like I want to take these three cards out. Okay. The first thing that just came to me was a fighting chance. Okay, I definitely feel for a lot of you this person is potentially going to try to fight their way back in, or going to try to fight to get some sort of communication with you. Okay, so maybe this is more for the people that have distanced themselves from this person. So if you were the one to initiate the breakup, if you were the one to be less responsive, if you were the one that has cut communication, there's definitely someone here who wants another fighting chance with you. So I mean, looking from the cards here, I feel like this person is potentially rethinking things, but it's still evoking a very strong emotional response from them. And these two cards really indicate some sort of struggle here. I definitely feel there's days, weeks, months where this person is going through where they feel really down. They're not really sure if they made the right decision. I think they're lonely. Okay, they're really feeling the loneliness, or they're really starting to feel lonely. But I think at other times this person is feeling more hopeful, more optimistic that things will turn around. The thing about this major arcana card, the World card, is that it almost symbolizes opportunity, bliss, hopefulness. And I often see this angelic figure representing Cupid, and I feel like I do feel like there's still hope attached from this person that the two of you will reconciliate. I feel like I almost want to say that this person, whilst they may want a fighting chance, I feel like for some of you, this person right now is thinking that they're going to leave it to the universe to decide. So whatever they believe in, whether they believe in fate and serendipity and God, spirit guides that'll bring you back together, or whether they believe in just chance, luck, whatever it is, it's almost like they're leaving it open to the world. It could also be that right now this person might be open to new possibilities with you, or still open to the notion of a relationship or a marriage, or in some sort, at least some sort of connection with each other. But I do feel like for a lot of you, this person is currently in a stage where they're struggling. So right now, I feel like this person is in a borderline, is in between two stages. So I feel like they're borderline on the stage of elation, where they're enjoying themselves, they're going out, they're putting themselves out there, potentially on online dating apps, rejoining communities, rejoining the dating world. But also they're in the borderline of starting to miss you and really feeling the difference here. So there's the elation, there's that potentially acting out of character, pushing themselves to try new experiences, so I think that's where that optimism is coming forward, them re-entering the dating world, or, coming back into the world, making their debut. But I feel like they're also on the borderline of the stage that comes after that elation period. And I feel like it's that energy of nostalgia is creeping back up on them, or they're starting to struggle with their thoughts. They're starting to struggle with something to do with communication. Swords are all about communication, mentality, and attitude. And if this is coming up around them, Capricorn, then I'm almost convinced that right now that's that borderline that they're tethering onto. That's the borderline. That's where they're sort of in limbo here. because they're starting to feel the loneliness. Conversations, words, a way of thinking is coming back up around them. It's keeping them up at night. So it's obviously disconcerting. It's obviously impacting their mental health. But loneliness comes to mind, absolutely. Regret or remorse. I definitely feel they're in a place where they're replaying conversations or things in their head, what they could have done different, what they could have said different, or what even you said, they're replaying. It almost, they're greeted as soon as they lay their head on the pillow. And, it's not to say they're crying themselves to sleep thinking about you every night, but I definitely feel like you cross their mind when their head, hits the pillow at night, whether you come into their mind for a second, for a minute, for an hour. I definitely feel thoughts of you, your conversation, or your mental connection in one way or another are coming up around this person. And the struggle that I've mentioned is the Ace of Swords. It can be seen as a struggle. Now, aces represent beautiful new chapters in our lives, but you can see with the Ace of Swords, the sword is carried here by God's cloud. The cloud that emerges from the sky, and this is God's presence. Call it what you will. It is a higher power, and he's got the sword in his hand here. But the sword can represent courage. The sword can represent wanting to fight for something. There's something potentially to do with courage here. I don't know, again, if this is connected to this person right now is in a stage where they're finding the courage to get themselves back out there in the dating world, maybe to, come back on social media, maybe, to update the world on their status, their friends and family. I don't know if it's them having the courage to say something to you, to reach out to you, but there's something to do with courage. I think that's coming through around them, Capricorn, and I feel like they're either struggling with courage, struggling to find the courage, or searching for that courage. They're searching deep within themselves for that. So, or it's something to do about a struggle with communication potentially. But like I said, reverting back to what I said earlier, aces are new chapters, new beginnings. And when they do come up, especially when they come back in these readings, I definitely feel for a lot of you, there's someone who does want another fighting chance, or there's someone who does want to enter into something with you. It may be a struggle. You might have to cut away a lot of toxicness in the relationship, and obviously work at the issues that had broken you up in the first instance. So that needs to be worked on. But I feel like mentally this person is going through a bit of a struggle. And like I said, it's a borderline energy. So I feel like they're still hovering on that elated stage. They might be hooking up. They might be putting themselves out there. They might be chatting to other people. But like I said, in the privacy of their own mind, Capricorn, when they're with themselves, when they can really be true and they've got nothing else that's distracting them, then they're plagued with the struggles of your connection, of your relationship, of the breakup. And they're plagued with thoughts of you. And it obviously makes them very upset, that they come to a dark place here. And whatever that dark place is, whether it's a moment of anxiety, whether it's a period of depression, whether it's flashbacks, whether it's traumatic for them, regardless of, what happened here, it's painful, at least on some level, for this person to experience that, which does show that this person is still emotionally attached. But I mean, again, a fighting chance. If they're not trying to get that fighting chance with you, then they're trying to fight their way back into the dating world, and be a part of that once again, whether it is with you or not here, Capricorn. I mean, time will tell. Sometimes, divine intervention comes and things play out in our favor. Sometimes we actively attract through our subconscious or the conscious mind. We actively attract experiences, responses, communication. So I think that's possible. But from what I've described, I'm convinced that's what's happening around this person at this point in time, at least, in regards to what they're thinking. So in terms of the stage, they're borderline elation, borderline nostalgic, regretful, remorseful, potentially even borderline wanting to reconnect. They're still struggling here to cope mentally. So again, there could be a lot of hope, or they're struggling to deal with that this is all over. And I say completion because the wreath here signifies completion, something coming full circle. So they're still reliving that. cyclical behavior, cyclical thoughts, habitual thoughts or practices or behavior are still coming up around this person here, Capricorn. So I do hope this reading has been helpful. Obviously, each situation is going to be very, very different, but I do want to thank you for tuning in. It absolutely means a lot. I hope you stay safe during this period. Take care, everyone. Have a fabulous month ahead, and we shall be connecting very soon. Thanks again, everyone, and bye for now.